Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Craig Burrell, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Petty Officer Jodie Matters. We are honoured to acknowledge His Excellency Mr Chris Seed, High Commissioner, New Zealand High Commission, the Honourable Dan Tehan, Minister for Veterans Affairs, accompanied by members of the Panmure Community Action Group and veterans who are watching this evening's live broadcast at home. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony around Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. Please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Charles Francis Weatherstone. Popularly known as Charlie, Charles Weatherstone was born in 1890 in Grafton, New South Wales, to Adam and Mary Weatherstone. The sixth of 9 children, he grew up in Grafton and attended the local public school. By the outbreak of the First World War, he was working as a factory hand in Grafton. Weatherstone enlisted in Grafton on the 29th of July 1915 and under initial training was allotted to the 6th Reinforcements to the 25th Battalion. He embarked from Brisbane in October on board the transport ship Seeing B, bound for Egypt. In Egypt, Weatherstone was sent to the 7th Training Battalion at Zaytun near Cairo. In late February, he was transferred to the 9th Battalion and posted to C Company. And on the 27th of March, the 9th Battalion sailed for France, finally disembarking at Marseille in early April. By the 19th of April, the 9th Battalion was in reserve billets near Rouge de Boux, 1 mile behind the front line at the Armentières or nursery sector. Intermittent artillery fire was landing nearby. Early in the afternoon of the 20th of April, tragedy struck when the battalion's C Company billets were heavily shelled. A shell landed outside a canvas tent, wounding 4 soldiers. As men went to assist, another shell landed amongst them, killing several and wounding others. A further shell hit a brick wall of a nearby billet, causing a further 47 casualties. C Company was disseminated, suffering 25 men killed and a further 50 wounded. One of them was Weatherstone. He had gone to the aid of a wounded comrade and suffered multiple shrapnel wounds as another shell exploded nearby. He was evacuated to the 7th Casualty Clearing Station. However, his wounds proved mortal and he died on the 28th of April. He was 26 years old. He was laid to rest in the Merville Community Cemetery, 20 metres southwest of Armentières. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour to my right, among more than 60,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Charles Francis Weatherstone, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. In the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget.
lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. Thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and good evening.